Hey everybody, Prepper Nurse 1 here. Today is December 7th. It's Monday, 2019. Actually, a day, of course, that will live in infamy, huh? The day Pearl Harbor was attacked. Okay, so I get told I drag things out and don't get into the video right away. So what we're going to do two things at once. I'm going to get into my video topic of today, and we're going to take a walk. I get a lot of chatter about here's the road right out in front of your house and you got power lines up here and stuff like that, so you're really, you're too close to civilization, okay? So what we're going to do is I'm going to take you out here. So here's our main road, and like I said, I'm going to get into the video here in a second. So here's our main road. This is a dirt road, okay? So it goes down this way and then it goes down that way, and both of them, that way is a dead end. This leads out to the main road. Okay, so as I'm walking, we're going to talk about the topic of today. We're going to talk about the wall and the cost of the wall, and then with the cost of illegal immigration. And we're going to talk about those topics today. Okay. So the cost of the wall is going to be $5 billion. That's what President Trump wants, and I love how they call it his wall, President Trump's wall. No, it's actually the American people's wall to stem the flow of illegal immigrants and also to stem the flow of illegal drugs that are pouring across our border. Now, in my opinion, and of course I'm going to give you my opinion, I think the wall is a good idea, and people say, well, the wall could also be used to keep people in. There's so many ways to get out of the country that it's ridiculous to think that just this wall is going to be, the only way if you wanted to try to get out, okay? So we're going to talk about the cost of illegal immigrants each year to the United States, okay? So we're talking about a number that's $135 billion a year. That's what it's costing the American taxpayers to pay for illegal immigrants, okay? When they come here, they pay about $19 billion in taxes from work that they do. And let's remember too also, most of the money that a lot of these people get, they send right back south of the border to their families back in whatever country that they came from. Alright? So that's a net difference of $116 billion that it's costing the American taxpayers. The cost of the wall is going to be $5 billion. That's it. So okay, so as we're walking here, you can see that this is a dirt road. I'm going to spin this around. My property is over here. There's a house here, and there's a house here, okay? And we're still not down to the main road yet, and we're going to take a gander down the main road when we get down here. So, to me, it makes much more sense to spend the $5 billion on the wall, and it's going to start. Like I said, it's costing the American taxpayers $116 billion per year for illegal immigration. So if we can stem that flow, and let's say we cut it in half, okay? Let's say we save $50 billion on illegal immigration. That's well worth putting this wall up. Now, should the wall be manned all the way through and monitored so that people can't circumvent it? Absolutely. We need to put towers up. I mean, Mexico has a wall on their southern border. Why shouldn't we? The whole thing it's absolutely just a ridiculous game. So there's talk, of course, that both sides, the Democrats and the Republicans, are holding, using the SNAP, which is the food stamps program, is a way of controlling what is going to happen with this, okay? The food stamps help 39 million people every month, okay? So the cost of the food stamps is roughly about $4.7 billion a month. Let me just make sure I got this written down correctly. I wanted to make sure I don't tell you wrong. Okay, about $4.7 billion a month. They got about $3 billion in reserve. So right now they're pretty much okay through the end of January, but because of the government shutdown, which affects the Department of Agriculture, there's 9 departments that are affected with the partial shutdown, okay? So the food stamps is part of that thing. So you got 39 million people going to be affected come February, if things are not straightened out. We're already into our third longest government shutdown. It's 16 days right now. The Clinton administration did one for 21 days. So I'm curious to see how that's going to pan out. Okay, so let me see. I wanted to tell you guys something else too. The shutdown is affecting 800,000 workers, of which 400,000 of them are being forced to work without pay. Okay, so here's the main road, guys. Okay, so I'm going to pan this around so you can see. So this is another side road, which is, if you go either way, it's just off of another side road before it leads to the main road. So I mean, I am, if you look down through here, can you see my house from the main road? If you were driving by here, can you see my house? No. So I'm pretty isolated. So I just that I wanted to share with you guys, because a lot of people have said, oh, well, you're right there and there's power lines and, you know, you need to put up fencing and blah, blah, blah. If SHTF happens, see these trees here, and there's another big one over here on the other side, they'll get dropped in front of this road. Nobody's going to be just driving down, okay? So anyway, half the government workers are working without pay. So about 400,000 workers are being forced to work without pay right now. So that's, you know, I'm doing a dual purpose here. I'm checking my mail too. But I wanted to take you guys for this walk so you can see how pretty isolated I am. And obviously, since I've walked down here, how many vehicles have you guys seen? Okay, you haven't. So, I mean, it's pretty much in the back road. But, so think about, if the government shutdown continues, that is going to affect, it's going to affect 39 million people. Now, I think you're going to have some very, very pissed off people if they cannot have their food stamps to be able to feed their families. And I want to clarify something too. And this, of course, you know, there's the argument back and forth. A lot of people will continuously say, well, you know, it's the blacks that are taking advantage of the welfare system and everything like that. Well, there's actually more white people. Oh, that one just kicked up. There's more white people on welfare than there are black people. Because percentage-wise, there's more white people in the country. I gotta put my hood back up. It's freaking freezing, and it's raining at the same time. I don't know, for whatever reason, I hit pause by accident. I had to put my hood back up because it's raining. Got a freezing rain going on right now. It's supposed to warm up through the night, so I hope this doesn't screw up my video. We will see. Anyway, I'm gonna clean off this. Hold on. I'm going to clean off this lens real quick, guys. Okay. So, when you have 39 million people that are going to definitely be affected by the food stamps, more white people are on food stamps than black people. And logistically, because I think white people make up 53% of the population, and I think black people are like 13%. So, I mean, so yeah, obviously, a lot more white people are going to be on assistance than black people, just because we make up much more of the population. So the people that always want to try to say, oh, it's the blacks, or it's the Hispanics, yeah, more white people are on food stamps than anybody else. But, you know, but the thing is, it's like, you know, it's a program to help people that need help. So obviously, both the Democrats and the Republicans are using that as a tool to, you know, mess with the whole situation. And I'm going to tell you what, Trump is playing it right. I mean, I think he's playing it right. I think he's doing a smart job with this thing. He is looking out for the American people. I saw a poll. I had gone to do the exchange for Eddie the other day, and there was a poll, and of course it was CNN was on the TV at the convenience store thing, and they were like, most people do not support the wall. Well, and there was like 3 state troopers sitting there, and I was talking to them, and I said, you know, it's funny. I said, they put up that poll how most people are against the wall. I said, now, if I go to a Democratic city and I do a poll, it's going to be absolutely jaded one way. if I go out into the country where it's more conservative, that same pole is going to be jaded a different way. So I find that very interesting that, you know, they throw these poles up there. Who takes these poles? You know, who are they realistically real, or are they just full of crap? So anyway, so here I'm going to spin this around again. We're coming back to my property now. And so you have, I have the two driveways that we put in here. We had the main one, and then this one we added in here. And there's my outbuilding where I keep my Harley. And then there's Brian's trailer, obviously the chicken coop. And it's just the back way to get back into the house. But anyway, I definitely want to hear your guys' feedback. What do you think? Cost effectiveness of the wall. I think it's much better to have the wall. If we can stem the flow of drugs, and if we can stem the flow of illegal immigrants coming into this country, and let's think about how much drugs cost us, you know, in deaths, and you know, the cost of treating people and all that type of stuff. And all these drugs are coming up illegally south of the border. So I mean, drugs are going to be everywhere, guys. It's just a fact. But if we can do anything to stem that flow, I think that is a great idea. So I mean, I definitely want to hear what your feedback is. I mean, the cost of the wall, people just always keep 5 billion, 5 billion, 5 billion. But if it's costing us overall 116 billion a year, the cost of the wall is a one-time cost, and then whatever it costs to man it every year, well worth it in my opinion. Okay, so I definitely want to hear your feedback. I want to hear what you got to say. You know, the effect that if the government shutdown continues, it's going to affect a lot of people as far as the SNAP program with food stamps. These are important things. I think that they're important anyway. So let me know what you think in the comments. I hope everybody's doing well. And remember, take a moment to, again, today is December 7th. We need to reflect on what happened all those years ago. Because if you don't study history, you're going to be forced to repeat it down the road. So anyway, guys, remember, we are all in this together. Remember, hug and kiss the ones you love. Tell them every single day, every day. Tomorrow is not guaranteed. We never know what's going to happen. Excuse me. And remember STD. It's one step at a time, one thing at a time, and one day at a time. Whatever you're trying to do, whatever you're trying to accomplish, you can do it. The only one that's going to stop you from getting there is yourself. I'm going to spin this around real quick so you can see Miss Molly. She just went under the camper. Okay. Well, anyway, guys, have a great day, and I will talk to you all tomorrow. Prepper Nurse 1, out for now.